Hello, welcome to Facial Recognition Comedy, the podcast of facial recognition comedy. I'm Zara Ali.
I'm Paula Viganalan.
And I'm Fizza Dasani.
And today's guest is the very funny, very talented actress, writer, producer, director, everything all in one, Sujata Day.
Woo! Yay!
Hey.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
This was a long time coming. Girl, you are hard to book.
I know.
You're all over the place.
I'm going to be honest. I mapped where it was and I was like, it's going to take forever to get there. So I had to schedule it around the drive.
I know. We appreciate that.
LA appointments.
Hashtag so LA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you clearly have the luxury of choosing where you want to go in this town.
Yes.
So you're light years ahead in your career. And so you can turn down things that are in Koreatown.
But I definitely wanted to do this because I'm all about, South Asian representation in Hollywood. So
Yeah, how long have you been in LA?
I've been here for about 10 years now.
Oh man, me too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't run into each other then.
Well, I got into acting after stand-up, so I was in stand-up first. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I never did stand-up. That's the one thing I never did.
So, I mean, it's a big circle. I'm starting to meet more and more people. So when you actually did that show, was it Asian AF?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize I'm recognizing more and more people on the flyers. And I think I found more of the South Asian community and entertainment because of this group. And, it just sort of.
Yeah, people reach out now.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just, it's interesting. I've never known more Indian people in my life than when I came
Is that true? Where are you from?
Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay.
What about your 64 first cousins?
I mean,
you didn't know
my mom's 64 first cousin.
You didn't know Indians. You didn't know Indians who you already weren't related to, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there was there wasn't really a community. There kind of was, but not like an artistic Indian community, so I didn't hang out with much. Here it's I'm actually friends with
I grew up around a lot of Indians.
Oh, me too. Where'd you grow up?
Me too.
Pittsburgh, outside
I went to
Pittsburgh.
Carnegie Mellon for my master's.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So there's 2 huge temples in Pittsburgh area. So maybe the Indians weren't necessarily at my school, but on the weekends, I did Bharatanatyam at the SV temple.
I took Bharatanatyam classes too.
Yeah, you did, girl.
Are you classically trained in Bharatanatyam?
Yes.
You did it for years. If we told you to break it down right now, could you do it?
Get up here and dance.
I mean, we're not. Gonna tell you
drop
to
a
do
beat,
that,
Paul.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
Drop that.
But I definitely could. I could bring it back. I could bring it back.
My mom wanted to put me in Bharatanatyam, but they didn't have a teacher. So then she was like, tap's close enough. And then they just started me in tap. And then it took off on Western dance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that they had that approximation for Indian culture.
Yeah. And then we had the Hindu Jain temple as well. So I went to Hindu Jain temple camp for a couple summers. I had friends who were South Indians and North Indians, and then I'm Bengali, so I had a lot of Bengali friends. Every Thanksgiving, my parents would be the ones to have all the Bengali people of Pittsburgh to their house for Thanksgiving.
Oh, very cool.
So I grew up around a lot of Indians, and it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I had the kind of the best of both worlds.
That's amazing. So you didn't really have to choose between one world or the other.
Yeah, I never had that confused Desi thing.
Oh man, I definitely had that.
Now she's just bragging. She's like, I'm not fucked up like you three.
I was just always allowed to kind of be myself wherever I was, and it was really nice.
Did you go to school with a lot of Indian people, or?
Yeah, I went to Case Western.
My brother goes to Case Western. This is so
cool.
funny.
I don't know if you were talking about high school or middle school.
I meant high school and middle school.
No, middle school, high school. I did not. I went to Catholic school for 8 years, which is. I'm Hindu, obviously, but went to Catholic school, did really bad in my religion classes, but my parents didn't care.
That's so funny. Parents are like, it's okay if you get an F in religion.
And then I switched over to the public school because it was a better school, and went to public high school, but there weren't a lot of Indians. But there was an Indian in each grade. Mm-hmm. And we all knew each other and we were friends.
Yeah, we had 1 or 2 Indians in each grade.
Yeah.
But we didn't necessarily have much in common beyond that.
We all hung out.
Oh, you did?
We were all friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Did
Maybe
you
it was
have
just
that thing?
misunderstood.
Did you have that thing growing up? And Fizza kind of has a joke about this, but this was so relatable for me. Is that there would be like one other Indian kid in our class, and everyone was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna like marry each other now?" You never had that kind of teasing.
No, we never had that. And like the
Wow.
other Indian girl that was a year younger than me, Monica, we were best friends.
Okay.
So nobody was ever like, oh, you guys are sisters, or nobody did
Wow, Pittsburgh seems woke as fuck.
Sujata's like, what's racism?
Where is this miraculous place outside of Pittsburgh that you grew
It's called
up?
Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and it was great.
That temple is like super popular.
Very popular.
Before I went to live in Pittsburgh, my uncle lived in Ohio, and every time we visited him, we would drive down to the temple because right next to the temple was fire food.
Yeah, Udupi.
Yep, Udupi's. And then in the temple, there was also like comfort food.
Oh my God, the tamarind rice in
So
the temple.
good.
I go back home. We go there. I get like 4 cartons of it, and I'm eating it like all through Christmas break.
Yeah,
and people come home, like kids come home just for the tamarind rice at the temple.
Yeah, I mean, I often go to religious things just for the food too. That's definitely why. That's like where I get like maybe half my biryani intake for the year.
Oh, so good.
I love kheer. So if we
Kheer
can
is
go-
good too. Yeah,
It's like Zara's so religious. No, she's just hungry.
I'm just here for the biryani. That's it.
Yeah. So I might as well let Pallavi know you're an engineer also.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Case Western, baby.
Yeah, my
what
brother
else
went
was I
there.
gonna
I almost-
graduate with?
I was almost going to go there too, but
Cool.
I ended up going to Caltech, but my brother is still at Case.
What
Cool.
type of engineering?
I did systems and control,
Ooh.
which is a branch of electrical.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you anything about it. I will tell you a little life hack that I did. So I studied abroad for 2 semesters in Sydney, Australia. I took all of my hardest engineering classes abroad because they transferred over as pass fail.
Oh,
So I got
smart.
50% in like thermodynamics and fluids and signal processing.
That's so fun.
And yeah.
I hated thermodynamics.
Oh, it was awful.
That class brought down my GPA so much.
That's why I got a pass on it, girl.
oh,
a
smart.
big
Are you
fat
all
smart.
engineers?
I went to an engineering school, so even though I'm a business major, I still had to take thermodynamics.
Where'd you go?
I went to a school called Stevens.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Fucking thermodynamics.
Did you like right out after college? Did you go for a systems engineering job, or were you like out?
I had another life hacking moment where I had a job. So I interned with Accenture the summer before my senior year.
That's where I worked for 5 years.
Yes, girl. High
That
five.
was we're just so much identifying
So
with
much
each other
brown girl
across the
identification
board.
right
We have the same lives.
Yes,
This is
You guys
fantastic.
have the same shoe size. We have the same temple we went
We
to.
had the same job.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So I interned for Accenture. After that summer, they offered me the job after I graduated, and they said, "Where do you want to go?" And I knew I wanted to move to LA to act, so I said Los Angeles. And then I moved out here. I tried never to get on a project, and still got paid salary.
Yeah, did that work?
it did.
Okay.
That is a life hack. Oh
so
my god.
for the non-consultants, they call when you're like not on a project, they say you're like unstaffed or on the bench.
Yeah.
So how long were you on the bench?
Well, how long was I on a project?
Okay.
For that year was like 2 weeks.
Stop it.
Because they'd be like, "We found you something," and I'd be like, "Oh, but I don't know this one programming language, so I can train in it, and then I'll be ready in 2 weeks." And then they'd be like, "Oh no, we'll find something perfect for you," and it was just like they would never find that perfect thing.
Wow.
But I always like was engaging, you know?
Yeah. So you played it real well.
How
And you never have to go into the office if you're not on a project.
Sarah, what are you doing? Stop being on projects.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it for.
Wait, do you work at Accenture right now?
No, I mean, I work for a similar firm now, but like basically, Accenture had me on the road all the time. Like I was traveling Monday through Thursday every week.
So I was in media and entertainment.
So you were lucky because then you could just be here.
I could
Because
just
this is
be
where
here.
all of media and entertainment is.
Yeah.
With me, I was in healthcare, and within healthcare, I was in like healthcare strategy. So even though I got to work on like healthcare reform and a lot of like cool things, I was never home. Like if you guys have ever seen Up in the Air, that was my life for a long time. Like I had status I had miles and status in the hotels and the airlines. I was never home, and I was pretty much traveling. I was like on the road for like at least 35, 40 weeks out of the year.
Where were you based
I
at
never
the time?
traveled.
I was based out of New York.
This is so funny.
I
Sujata's
never
like,
traveled.
yeah, you did it wrong.
I never came into the
I got paid
office.
to sit on my ass.
I took acting classes, got my headshots, was doing auditions.
That is awesome.
How did you decide you wanted to go into acting? Because you majored in engineering. So like at one point did you catch the bug?
Well, I caught the bug, I would say, like officially probably in high school when I was doing a musical called Guys and Dolls.
Ooh,
So I was
that's a cute musical.
Yeah. So I was the kind of person that I was really shy growing up, and up until like 7th or 8th grade, I was super shy. And then I like looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I can't be shy anymore. So I decided not to be shy.
Aw. That's such a movie moment.
You got this.
Yeah. And then I tried out for everything. So I tried out for basketball, cheerleading, track, every sport, tennis, swimming, and I made like a couple of the things, but the one like I was getting like really, I tried out for rifle team. We had a rifle team.
Whoa.
Pennsylvania.
It was in the basement. It was in the basement.
They gave guns to kids.
You know they
In
weren't
a
going to give a
basement?
gun to a brown girl.
Yeah. Oh, so you have to audition.
Oh, you have to try out for the rifle
So
team.
you just
And
walk
so you
in the
Basically,
room
what does that audition look like?
Basically, I walked in
and they were like, no.
because it was in the basement. Walked down and I was like, "Hey, I want to like join the rifle team." And they were like, "Have you ever held a gun in your life?" And I was like, "No, but isn't that like, aren't you going to teach me? Isn't that what rifle team's all about?" And they're like, "No, like you need to have like a little bit of
Oh,
experience."
no, like your parents would have had to teach you how to, like as a child, use a rifle.
Yeah,
That's a thing.
Crazy.
So you have to be white, basically.
Well, yeah, and
part of it.
my school, like in my area, like the first day of hunting season, like nobody would, like half the students were gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So for people who are unaware, this happens all over the country.
This happens. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't make the rifle team, and I was devastated.
I'm so sorry.
So she bought a gun. No, I'm kidding.
So then I was like, oh, I'll try out for the musical. And then I tried out for Guys and Dolls. I was a hot box dancer in Guys and
Ooh.
Dolls.
Okay.
And had like one line or something that made people laugh. And I was like, okay.
Then you got the
Got
bug.
the bug.
I was like, that's cool. I
How
can
old are
do
you?
this. What?
How old were you at the time
I think I was a freshman. Was it freshman or sophomore?
in high school?
Yeah.
And that's when you sort of knew that you wanted to,
Yeah.
you like being an entertainer.
Yeah, but I always did, like when I was like 5 or 6 and my brother was like 9 or 10, we would put on talent shows for the neighborhood and mostly like for my parents, and they would like pay a quarter to come into the
So
bedroom
cute.
to like watch whatever, like singing or Bharatanatyam or, you know.
That's cute.
Perform, yeah.
It's a variety show.
It's a variety
Yeah.
show. And my brother is like not really a performer, so he would like do push-ups or something.
Do they used to do this at like Indian get-togethers, and then like there would be all the kids would be like pimped out to do something?
You know, it wasn't really the Indian get-togethers. It was mostly like the neighborhood kids.
Okay.
So we had like we were friends with all the neighborhood kids, and it would be in someone's backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'd put like a curtain or like a blanket over like the monkey bars, and then that would be the curtain, and you would pop out from, I don't know.
That's so adorable.
Sounds like a fun neighborhood.
It was fun.
So
the people I knew from Pittsburgh were really cool. So I mean, I don't know anything about what it's like growing up there, but is it, you know, there's a lot of support of the arts and
Yeah, it was
creativity's valued.
It was great. I mean, my parents like came every night to see my musical when I was in it, and then
Aw.
we did Showboat the next year, and I was in Showboat, and I was still not a lead. I was a little miss.
No bitterness there.
no bitterness there. And then my parents would always come and bring flowers every night, and a lot of us were into the arts, you know.
Cool. So did you continue this in college as well? Did you do a lot of
So in
theatrical
college,
productions?
So in college, I think I auditioned for many plays at Case, but never got cast. But then when I went to Australia, I focused mostly on my acting and my performing, and auditioned for stuff and would get into everything because they are so taken by
American accents.
By the American accent.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Were you honest with your parents about what you wanted to do while you were sitting back on those projects?
No. It was like bend it like Beckham.
At what point did you like start being more honest with them?
So I remember like one time I was still working at Accenture in LA. My mom, I believe, came to visit, and I would. No, I wasn't working at Accenture anymore.
So you'd already quit.
I was working at a restaurant. And
so they had already fired you.
They had laid me off, which is also a life hack because you get severance and unemployment when they lay you off.
Yep.
And it's awesome.
Yep.
That's life hack
It's
number
totally
3.
worth it.
Look at this. You
That's kind of what I'm gearing. That's what I'm gearing towards right now. Like I'm trying to I'm on like a decline.
Yeah.
And hoping that I can.
You don't want to quit. You don't want to get fired. You want to get laid off.
Shout out to Zara's coworkers that listen to our podcast.
No, I mean,
thank you for this.
No, here's the thing. Like when I
Wait,
I'll
do you
show
work
up to
at a big consulting firm right now?
No, not anymore. But it's still like it's all like former Big Four people. So it's like everyone's still very smart and kind of like performs at the same capacity. Whereas it's like 5:30 and I'm like, all right, I have a show.
Yeah.
So see y'all later, kind of thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But sometimes it's like, if you're doing like gigs or if I have to like randomly like go to a gig in like San Diego or I have to fill in for somebody. And there's some nights where with comedy, you'll be up until 2-3 in the morning, right? So it doesn't make those 8 a.m. meetings any fun.
No.
No. So
did you ever have to be at the office at 8 a.m. or?
I mean, I literally didn't care.
She just coasted.
So I went in 9 to 5. Those 2 weeks that I was on the project, they would still be working, and it would hit like 5 o'clock and be like, all right, I'm out. And they would just look at me weird, like, I can't believe you're leaving.
It's like, how dare you?
And I was like, yo, it's 5 o'clock. Like, isn't a job like supposed to be 9 to 5?
Yeah,
totally. If you had nothing to do either. I mean, you could find stuff to do, I guess.
Or I could just sit there and like not do anything and stay until 7 or 8. But I just wasn't interested.
Yeah.
So you were working at a restaurant, and at what point?
So then my mom was there, and I was like, oh, I have to go to work, and I like put on my Accenture clothes, but in my briefcase was like my waitressing outfit.
Oh my god!
So that was the best acting of all.
Wait, so were you living at home? Like, how was this happening?
It was when my mom came to visit here.
Oh, okay, got it.
And you hid it from her? You thought she wouldn't approve, or she would?
I think it was more. After I got laid off, was working at the restaurant, but then I got super lucky and I booked 3 commercials in a row.
Oh, wow.
Like national commercials.
That's awesome.
And so once I got those checks, that's when I told my parents. And I was like, hey, like, I'm making money. That's like what they want to
they
hear.
just want you to be stable.
Be able to pay the rent.
I feel like at 3 national commercials, it's not just luck anymore. I feel like
you guys, I have not booked a commercial since.
But you never know. It's feast or famine.
But like,
but you're on HBO.
You're on HBO.
You're besties with Issa Rae, like
and Amanda Seal.
Like, very interesting though. So like in 10 years, you booked 3 nationals back to back, and then
nothing.
That's wild. And
it's wild.
I read somewhere,
and I auditioned for commercials.
Still,
yeah,
that's crazy. They say like what 1 in 70 auditions is like what an actor books.
Yeah,
they say. I don't know who's they.
I think I've heard that as well.
Well, I read it. I read you saying that.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. I was like, oh, you heard it too.
I mean, I was like, it sounds about right. Shit.
Is that Fizza? Is that what you're seeing? Or are those your odds? I feel like your odds are better than that.
Yeah, it's been a good year, but it's like a lot more of nothing than something. So I don't even think about. I've like trained myself to go in and then just never.
You can't think about it.
Never. Like it's just. So when people are like, "Oh, how'd the audition go?" I'm like, "Which one?" Yeah. Because nothing's precious,
right?
Like sort of like with sets, like it's just you can't get too high off a set, so you don't get too low off of.
No, you gotta. I was just talking to someone yesterday. I was like, you have to stay neutral.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah.
You book a pilot, you got to stay neutral because who knows. you could get fired at the table read.
Yep.
So what? At what point do you get happy? When do you go and celebrate?
When
You
the check
don't.
comes.
When the check
Got it.
comes.
Literally when the
Yeah.
check comes.
Got it.
Wow.
So how about this? Because you've been doing this for a while. What is the craziest thing you've ever heard in an audition room?
What do you mean? Oh, that has happened to me?
Yeah, like what's the craziest thing that's happened to you?
The craziest thing. I've definitely had like crazy auditions. This was probably like 8 years ago. But it was a commercial audition and I was going in to play like a pregnant teenager. And so they had me like running around the room from like wall to wall, camera to like the back of the wall because an imaginary stork was like chasing me.
Huh.
Okay.
And then I had to like the stork like came down and I had to like, you know, hide from the stork and then like pretend to close the door. It was just like really, and I did one take and they were like, okay. You know, and I was like, I don't know what I just did. I don't know what just happened.
Who was this for?
I forget.
Or what was it?
It was probably like an insurance company or
Oh, it was a
something.
commercial.
Oh yeah, it was a
That's
commercial.
so weird. Today I went to one where I had to look like pretend chickens were on like the hood of the car. And then a chicken farmer comes out and runs after them. And it's just like, okay, well,
Hilarious.
you know,
It's so
I just respond to
yeah.
my
I think commercial auditions are the craziest
Mhm.
yeah, it's like
because they don't know. They don't know.
What
They don't know what
want.
they're looking for.
Yeah, they don't know what
until
to
they
give
see it.
us.
Yeah,
So then they put some stuff out.
they're like,
and-
here,
and
act.
Here, this is a burger. Or I don't.
Have you ever eaten the bread they give you in commercial auditions?
Yeah, you have to.
But like, do you actually swallow it?
Yeah. Do you spit it out?
Sometimes.
You do the spit basket. thing?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always. Depends if
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Wait, they give you
Sometimes-
bread in commercial auditions?
They're like,
you ever-
pretend this is a delicious burger.
Do you ever just put some in your purse for later?
You know, they actually gave us, I think, tacos from Taco Bell once. They're just like, yeah, just keep your taco or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Taco Bell. Maybe I'm just giving credit to Taco
Or
Bell.
like
there.
nuggets. Like they'll have
Sponsor
like
us.
real chicken McNuggets.
Well, what if you're like,
hamburgers.
what
that's
if you
actually
only do
nugget.
gluten free? Are you not allowed to do the commercial?
Then you can't do the commercial.
Wow.
Oh yeah. You got to tell them beforehand.
Oh,
If
okay.
you don't eat meat, don't audition.
No. If
Got
you
it.
don't eat meat, you can't do like Taco Bell, McDonald's.
They'll
to know.
say.
Damn, I'm really limiting myself.
Okay, so how did you go from commercials to HBO's Insecure?
So, in the meantime, I was, I had like a low-level agent and I was going out for like co-stars and stuff. So I booked a couple co-stars. I started writing a little bit. I look back on like my first scripts and stuff and they're terrible. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, maybe I can like salvage something out of this piece. And I'm like, wow, I can't get past like the first 2 pages. So then I just booked a couple little things and then probably like 7.5 years ago, I left Facebook and I deleted my Facebook and I was like, oh, I need another social media. So I joined Twitter and nobody was on Twitter at this point.
That's smart.
And then Issa and I started following each other. So I followed her because I was following some diversity group who were tweeting out like names every day.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, so I just would follow all the names that they tweeted out because I didn't know how Twitter worked. And then Issa and I started following each other and she tweeted out, I'm looking for a mixed looking girl to play my best friend in a web series.
Mhm.
And I said, cool, this is what I look like. I'm not mixed.
That was the awkward
Black girl.
awkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
You played Cece?
I played Cece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then went to an audition at her house. She wrote to me that day and was like, you got the job. And I was like, okay. Like,
Didn't get too excited.
Stay
Got
neutral.
it.
Stay neutral.
But it was like also one of those things where I wasn't getting paid. It was
Yeah,
just
it's a
like
web
a
series.
girl doing a web
Yeah.
series. Web series were not a thing at
Yeah.
that time.
I mean, even now, there's not too many web series that you get paid for. I mean, everybody has a web series
Right.
now too.
Yeah. So, and then we started doing Awkward Black Girl and shooting it in Inglewood at her dad's doctor's office. And it surprised us all when it blew up. And we were like, what's happening? And then got a ton of press without like a publicist. And then that, I think that just like kind of opened up.
Yeah, because
all
that
the
like
doors.
spurred into Insecure and that whole
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
play on Insecure, you play sort of like an antagonist
Yeah.
to Issa. So that's interesting because, yeah, how did that happen?
Well, that was, I always knew that Insecure was not an extension of Awkward Black Girl. So when she was writing the pilot with Larry Wilmore, it was always a different world. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like going to be just all the Awkward Black Girl people in this show. And none of us really expected to be on it or anything. We're like, oh, that's another project that Issa's working on.
Right.
And then after the pilot got picked up to shoot, Issa texted me and said, hey, like there's a role in this for you. And someone who works at the office. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Duh.
So
Well, that's really sweet that she like wrote you in.
yeah, it was really great.
It's really good you didn't unfollow her.
Yeah. It was really good.
You never know. This is why you don't unfollow anyone.
This is why you follow all the diversity people on Twitter, guys.
Yes.
Yo, because we're all popping. That's
Yeah.
why.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And then
So is it a fun role for you?
oh yeah.
Compared
it was
to
super
the-
fun. It was like pretty tough at first to be like mean to her in the scenes or like be talking about her with the other coworkers in the scenes and then the camera it would be like cut and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It's like I wrote those words.
yeah. So I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fun and it was great just being on set.
Yeah. For our listeners who don't watch the video, Sujata plays Sarah, who's Issa's coworker
Yes.
on Insecure.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of Insecure? Actually, it's a twofold question. Your favorite episode with you in it and your favorite
okay.
episode overall. And it can't be the same one, too.
Okay, my favorite episode overall is the Coachella episode.
Yo, that one was fun.
I'm
Which
a
season?
season 3.
Season 3.
I
this
don't
season.
know exactly
Season-
which episode number,
Okay.
but it's I think Natasha Rothwell is just a genius, and she plays Kelly on the
Yeah.
show.
Mhm.
I love her so much.
And she had
fun.
so many great moments in that episode. And I just like think about it and I laugh. And when she says, remember me different, it's just so memorable and great. So I love that episode. I also loved another episode where, I mean, this is probably one of the past seasons, so it's not really spoiling it. Okay.
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 Tune out
no,
and
I-
tune back in.
I
if you
definitely
haven't seen
remember
it.
season 1 and season 2.
Okay, so the season where they go through a flash forward with Lawrence,
Yeah.
the Jay Ellis character,
Uh-huh.
and reading
The ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, reading that script, I was like getting teary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when what actually happens, I was just
Mhm.
like, oh wow, that's like
Yeah.
a very cool. I don't know.
remember
it's
that.
just
And
like-
you know what? Because that episode's like so relatable for anyone who's like regretted a breakup
Yeah.
or regretted
Yeah.
a decision like that. It's,
yeah. So that was
definitely got me
like
some feelings.
wow.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really great.
Do you guys like how hard is it to like keep from laughing while you're on set and trying to film?
I think it's we're all pretty professional.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty good at like holding back the laughter until
Yeah.
the scene's over. But sometimes, something.
I
will
mean, because
just be
sometimes
so
the script
funny.
itself is the writing itself is hilarious.
Oh yeah, and we don't improv very much. Usually we'll just improv if the scene ends and there's no more lines. We'll just like add something.
Oh,
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, at the end, but we won't really improv within it because it's already
It's so funny.
hysterical and so tight. It's just so tightly written.
Yeah.
So there's no need to do that. Yeah.
Wait, you didn't say which one was your favorite episode with you in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The beach episode was fun. So that was season 1. where we all had the kids. We like took them on a field trip to the beach.
Did they clean up the beach or something? Yeah, I remember that one.
We just took a bunch of little brown and black kids to the beach to clean up the beach.
Amazing.
Who thought of was that all? Was that all Issa's thing? The place that you guys work for is called We Got Y'all.
Yeah,
that was all Issa's
white hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the writers' room, so I'm not sure exactly how that came about. But yeah, that was that's all Insecure writers.
Some cringeworthy moments.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorite episodes, just because I had a moment while I was filming that where it was sunset and we were on the beach and I was like watching the kids come off the bus and I just like felt like kind of emotional because I was like, oh my God, we were like doing this for free in Issa's office like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is HBO. There's a crane. There's like a crew. There's a cast and like extras and like all this, just.
Did you have to pinch yourself?
Well, I got teary.
Yeah.
And then
was it the children that triggered it?
And then
she was just started
children
screaming.
usually
This
make
will
me
happen
cry.
to you one day.
So then one of the
Wait,
kids
was it your ovaries? Was it that?
Oh, no, it's never my ovaries.
Okay.
Your face was like
Never my ovaries.
no, bitch.
But one of the kids like looked up at me and was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "No, it's like there's sand in my eye, or I have allergies."
Like that's a moment that could have been in an Insecure episode.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh wow, this kid like totally called me out."
Shut up,
so
man.
funny.
Shut up. I'm being grateful right now. Shut up.
Is that
That's so
discipline,
funny.
Zara?
What?
Is that discipline?
Yes, that's how I discipline.
Shut up!
That's how I discipline.
Shut up! I'm being grateful.
Shut up, kid. Say what you're thankful
up.
for.
I'm having a moment.
Your ovaries are screaming because they're scared.
I know. They're always screaming. Sorry.
You're multi-talented, dude. You're also in an indie band.
Oh,
Yeah, tell us about this indie band. How did it form?
It's called Naked Hipster
it's
Project.
called Naked Hipster.
Where do y'all
Project.
play?
How true to your name are you?
It's naked, like emotionally naked.
Oh,
Like
okay.
on the beach crying.
It's not
naked.
like physically naked.
Okay.
And is
Yeah.
is the use of hipster ironic or? are
It's
you guys-
ironic. It all
How
started
very
out.
hipster of you, though.
It all started
Interesting.
very ironically, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be funny to do parodies of hipster songs, a la She and Him?" Or
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, but then we started writing and composing the songs, and we were like, these are actually not bad.
Original pieces.
That's great.
Original pieces.
Are you on Spotify?
Can we find you? Where do we find this?
I mean, there's 2 videos. There's 2 music videos on YouTube under
Okay.
Naked Hipster Project. One's called Wallflower and one's called Parts.
Okay.
We are recording a current song within the next 2 weeks, so we'll probably have another music video out.
Do you sing?
I do sing.
Okay. Do you play instrument? What's your role in the band? What else?
I'm the writer. I write the lyrics, and I'm a singer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Front man.
So is
Well, Will's also a singer too.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's like a musical theater.
Is it just 2 of you, or
It's just
you and Will?
we don't
Will?
play
She and
out. We don't play live.
So it's a duo.
It's a duo.
But you never play live, so I can't catch you at like one of these bars in Los Feliz or anything.
No.
Really?
It's mostly like we record the
recording
songs.
Uh-huh.
Yes, recording artists. We record the songs, and then my favorite part is making the music video. So, yeah, this is it.
That's you singing.
Thoughts I cannot hide.
Wow, you have a beautiful voice.
good.
Multi-talented.
I just
indeed.
recorded something. Speaking of South Asian
What?
peeps, I just recorded something with Ritesh Rajan. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys know him. He was
I
on.
met Ritesh recently.
He's dope. He was
somewhere.
on Stitchers. He was in Jungle Book.
Yeah, I met him at some Hollywood party at the W.
He's a
or
singer.
something.
He's
Yeah.
a singer. So we did a show called Crazy Talented Asians that was put on by AJ Raphael.
Okay.
And
Where was this?
it was at Rockwell.
Okay.
It was at Rockwell.
Fun.
And it was my first time actually singing live without it being karaoke.
How did it go?
I was really nervous because most of the other acts, they were all Broadway stars. Like they did a Mulan medley with 4 girls who played Mulan.
Wow.
And it was incredible.
They're all the same Mulan, you guys.
And so I was like, okay, the only way I'm going to do this is if we do a parody. So I rewrote lyrics to A Whole New World.
Oh,
perfect.
man. Is this on video somewhere?
So we just recorded, we videoed it on Friday. So we'll release it soon.
Can we be extras in your next video?
We all play Jasmine.
Guys,
Yeah, let's all play Jasmine.
my goal for 2019, one of my goals for 2019 is to be a video vixen. So if anyone knows anyone,
Ooh.
I'm trying.
I've always wanted to be a backup dancer. I don't want to be like a forefront dancer. I
Very
want to be a
cool.
backup dancer.
I like that. I
just
like
wanna
that.
be a video
I'm gonna
vixen.
keep you guys in mind.
Cool.
This is our audition. You're like, the weirdest time I had an audition was right now.
So, like, you've been in LA for 10 years and a lot's changed in 10 years.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, in terms of representation, what's like, it's
The South Asian representation, you mean?
well, representation in general, but especially women of color and
Yes.
South Asian representation. It's never been like this.
It's incredible. What I
almost-
found that is different from when I first got here is people are connecting, which
Aw.
is so important.
You mean like actually talking to each other
talking to each other,
versus
connecting,
talking over each other?
and not being competitive. And so when I first got here, it was like people had to be the only one. Or had to be the first, or had to be, and that is changing. And there's so many opportunities because now I'm like super excited if like someone I know books the job and it's not me, you know, because I'm like, oh my God, Nishi's better for that anyway, you know, or so it's just really exciting because we're all winning.
And it's
Yeah.
opening up more doors.
It's opening
For all
up
of
doors
us,
for
yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
Whoever gets it, it's great.
But
Because
it also
because just the next time, whatever that show is, whether it's a network show or whatever, they'll be like, hey, we had like an Indian girl on that one show. Like, let's cast again. You
Right.
know,
There can be more than one.
there can be more than one.
Well,
What
it
a
also
shock.
feels like we're like all the role models that we didn't have growing up are now our friends.
Yeah.
And so we finally still get that release when we get to see them in the role. So it's just exciting to see that on TV or like
Yes.
scrolling through Netflix and not seeing just like white faces on the posters. It's,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
So fulfilling.
It's great. Yeah. So things have really changed and it's for the better. And
It's just interesting to have witnessed how much, because like even the Me Too movement's so recent, but the treatment of women, at least in comedy and behind the scenes, I used to work in film finance and packaging. Like,
yeah.
it was horrific.
Right.
And you know, there was no dialogue about it. So that changed significantly. What, in like the last 2 years? Has it been 2 years? Were you-
Yeah. Since Me Too, I think it's
Yeah.
been 2 years.
Have you had any experiences? Like, have you experienced the sort of shift in your own life, or was
I think I've been in kind of a lucky bubble of I guess I met Issa, I don't know now, 7 years ago or 7.5 years ago.
Mhm.
And I was just always like I was doing her web series, and for some reason I always had like female agents, and
So it seems like you were in areas where you were protected from it.
yeah,
in some
I was
way. Yeah.
super protected.
That's great.
And most of the jobs that I got, like right after Awkward Black Girl, I booked a web series called The Guild, which was Felicia Day's web series. And once again,
no relation?
a powerful no. But she's
Tired of
Really,
this
I-
nepotism in
totally-
Hollywood.
I totally thought that you may have been part of the Felicia Day network of days.
but she was amazing, another powerful woman at the top, and so once again, not another safe bubble. And then after that, you know, Insecure, and there's just like women of color everywhere. And then I've started, you know, working with production companies, and they're all people of color production companies generally. So that has been an amazing, fun experience for me. So
stories are just so much more interesting when they're diverse.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the same
for sure
story
that was
I had to watch for all of my life.
That was what was so refreshing about Insecure. I was like, why? Of course, yes, this story should be there. How is it not there already?
Yeah. It's really exciting. I think especially for Black people. Black people are sick of like the slave stories, the gangster stories, the stereotype stories that like win Oscars,
Yeah.
It's just about being a normal person.
Yeah, what about being a person?
Just being a person. So
shocking.
So I went to this like Hollywood, South Asians in Hollywood conversation yesterday. I wouldn't even call it a panel because we were all having a conversation. And somebody told me that they work in casting and writing and production, and one of the executives, older white male executives, said, "Well, what do you like to the Indian American? Like, so what is it that your people want? Like, what is your struggle? So, like for African Americans, their struggle is slavery. What is your struggle?" And it's like, are people still thinking about that? Like after
he said that's the existing struggle.
Yeah, no, but it's like, what is your? Because like,
what's the one thing that defines your people?
What's the one thing that defines your people? And it's like, I don't think Indian Americans or South Asian Americans
that we're annoyed about.
Like that we have like this.
What's our pain?
I don't think we collectively have some struggle that
one story struggle. Yeah,
like some Oscar-worthy struggle, right? Like that's what they're looking for.
I don't know. Lion was very specific.
See, that's so simplistic to just say, oh, this group of people has one struggle.
Right. Yeah.
But every individual has.
What's his purpose? Like, is he only wants to cast us in that thing?
Yeah, what did the executive want out of that conversation?
I think it was maybe to... Well, I mean, this is like, I'm hearing it from someone who experienced it, right? So it's... I think what he was asking for was like, or how can I be more inclusive of your people?
That would have been a better way to say it.
You know? But I think that was the end goal of what he was getting at. But he was also like, we haven't seen something from your people that's won Oscars. After Slumdog Millionaire, right?
What about Lion?
Right, right. So, but it's like...
But I will say that there's a difference between Indian American and Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the struggle. Yeah. Of like... We want to tell, like, I don't want to tell a sex trafficking story in India.
Exactly. But then here's the thing.
But that's the thing that would win the Oscar.
Right. Yeah. And so that's the frustrating part, right? But it's also like the other minority groups, they're getting sitcoms and they're doing shows where they're allowed to have other problems other than like the one major problem that's affecting their people or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like every other minority is allowed to have a sitcom and a show about just living their lives. But for some reason, you, executive white male at this company, you feel that we need to have like a particular. We can't just live our lives like every other minority.
But I think it is. I think it is happening for us. Like there's Aziz's thing. There's that story. There's a new sitcom with a woman as a mother, a brown woman.
Oh yeah,
what is it?
Oh, Sorry You Show.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
So like now that we're starting. Are you seeing that a lot of that shift happening where like people are giving you like you're a woman, just like you're not getting pigeonholed into
I'm definitely
type of casting.
You can win an Oscar in a good script that's not about being Indian.
I'm not. I'm definitely not. I'm going to tell you something. So I went in for a huge network show, recurring character, and like killed the audition. And I knew I was going to get a call back. Got a call from my agent right after I left. Hey, they want to know if you're 100% Indian.
Wow.
And it was specifically Indian character. And I was like, oh my God, not this again. Like, this is like my personal struggle has been that Hollywood doesn't think I look Indian enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have gone in, this was way back. So when I first got here, I was going in for Latina a lot. So I was getting that. I was like Middle Eastern, sometimes South American. So a lot of that. So this particular audition was like 3 months ago. And I was like, oh my God, please tell them that I'm 100% Indian. That I am. Like, And so, and I went in there and there were 4 other girls there and I knew some of them and I was like, okay, I know I'm not going to book this because they look more Indian.
Yeah.
Because you're light skinned?
I don't know what it is.
I think it's features, but that's the thing what people don't understand is there's a lot of ethnic backgrounds in India.
Yeah.
It's a very big country with a lot of different people.
That's crazy.
Their view of what Indian people should
That's
look
crazy.
like.
Meanwhile, there's no roles for Pakistanis out there. So like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that, Hollywood?
Come on, Kumail, what are you doing?
Oh my God. Only for Kumail Nanjiani because he wrote his movie. But
then he also cast a half black, half white girl as one of the Indian girls or the Pakistani girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
She really does look Indian.
She
That's
looks
why.
hella
She looks Indian.
She probably stole your role.
No one's calling her agent to ask her.
I auditioned for that role. Yes,
You did. Oh,
and in my tape, I did not do an accent.
all right.
Good for you.
So that's probably why I didn't book it.
So I've had this. Have you had this where people just have asked you to do the accent like on a fly?
No, never.
That's happened to me at least like 3-4 different times. So now, I mean, like I used to do the accent just growing up because it was fun for me.
Oh yeah, I can do
Yeah.
my mom.
Yeah.
I can definitely
all
I do
We
it.
can
I
all
do it in
do
my
it.
stand-up.
Yeah.
I did my mom in one of the network diversity programs, and I'm not even going to say her name, but you probably know. She told me that's not an Indian accent.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, everyone knows who it is. And then,
Face.
and then on top of that, she told me I should date the other brown person on the cast.
Yep.
She's like, you guys should date.
Oh,
Oh,
my
God, she
God.
sounds like that. I gave it away.
I know.
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave it away, girl.
But it's not, that's also like all over the place too. Like like I've been to weddings as a single woman, and like there'll be one other like brown person there, and it's like, you should totally marry him.
Yeah.
Get him over here right now. I'm like, what? I don't know him.
It's no consideration for even being good on paper. It's literally
Yeah.
like you guys match.
But you're also
Yeah.
at a wedding, so they could save so much on the money.
Oh my
of-
God.
by just getting married
So
there.
I
Yeah.
get-
Piggyback on it.
Like going back to like Indian roles and stuff,
Yeah.
I get hired more when it's open ethnicity and
Yeah.
they're looking for black, white,
Yeah.
redhead, whatever. And then I book that job.
So there's been a lot more of that on casting breakdowns.
yes.
And do
To
you
be, what is it called? Ethnically ambiguous?
Or
No,
just
no,
like
open.
open ethnicity.
Or open
so just like
ethnicity. Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
do you feel like a lot of people are doing that just because, just to look good, or do you think that they're actually practicing it?
So, something that happened, I shot a movie this summer called Blowing Up Right Now, and it's going to do the festival circuit next year.
Yay.
And it's not a specifically Indian character. It's a rom-com about, yeah. So basically, I knew one of the producers, Jazz, who's also South Asian, and he had shot an NBC Asian American profile on me like a couple months before that. And he contacted me and he's like, hey, I saw your manager's like submitted you for this. Can you just put yourself on tape and send it directly to me so I can show everyone? And then I met up with the director and him, and they said that they had put open ethnicity on the submission and had gotten 95% white women from the representation.
Wow.
Oh,
and this was
what?
recently?
Yeah, I shot it in June, July.
Wow.
So it's a submission problem
Okay.
too.
It's a submission problem. It's a
Studio
it's a
problem?
representation problem. I think
Executive level problem?
executive level.
Also, why? Yeah, I mean, why isn't it trickling down to like people who would actually apply? You
Well,
know,
if we had more studio heads who were women of color.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Who recently was it Roseanne who got fired?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Roseanne.
yeah, Roseanne.
And
Yeah.
who was the studio head that just nixed her after that
Channing
comment?
Channing Dungey.
Yeah.
Yeah, who actually left ABC to work for Netflix, I think. Or no. She left ABC.
That's
so the president.
a baller move.
Yeah.
Get rid of Roseanne
She
and
got-
then leave for
she-
Netflix.
I don't think she went to Netflix yet, but there's rumors
There's
that
talks.
there's talk.
You heard it here first. Facial recognition comedy podcast.
I have no information.
we have all
so-
the inside
We know
information.
exactly
Don't
where,
listen to me. Don't
where
listen
that Dungy lady is going.
Oh, that media and entertainment background really helped.
It did.
Hilarious. Oh man. Okay, so I'm very curious. How do your parents feel about this now?
Oh, they're very supportive. Very supportive. And I think it's one of those things where they can see it on TV and they can
It's tangible.
It's tangible, and I'm writing, and they can see my short film, and they show my short film to everyone who visits the house.
Cowboy,
that's so sweet.
Cowboy and Indian. Yeah. And so
wrote, directed, and starred in.
yeah, produced it too.
And produced.
What was that like? Were you like just pulling your hair out?
Wait, can I just tell you guys? So I turned in Accenture stocks to make that movie.
Stop it. That's awesome. That's great.
I called them up and I was like, "Hey, how much money in stocks do I have?" And they're like, $5,500. I was like, "Send me that check."
Wow.
And then the budget.
See, it helps to have a day job in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's
So
really,
you I'm sorry.
I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, as an entertainer, it's really, really important to invest in yourself.
Always.
It's critical, I think.
Always. I think it's so important. I think anytime you get any kind of money, you should shoot something and, submit it to festivals. There's so many things to submit to now, and a lot of them are free, especially like NBC Shorts Fest or the HBO Asian American thing that I'm the ambassador for.
Oh.
When's that deadline?
Talk about that.
When's the deadline?
It's the deadline has passed.
Damn
What is it? What is
it.
it called?
It was
and
the-
is it going to be yearly?
This is the third year.
Okay.
It's the HBO Asian Pacific American Visionaries program.
Okay.
Does that
And-
include South Asians?
Yes,
Or just
yes. So in the
Pacific Asians?
video, in the video that I shot for it, I was like, Asians can apply, and then I specifically was like, all you South Asians better apply too. So I put that in there. That was
Thank you.
my little
Thank you for that
improvised
caveat.
moment.
So is it like sketch? What is it? A short film?
It's short film, so 10 to 15 minute long, and about the Asian American experience. And
Specifically about the Asian American
Yeah.
experience? Or the filmmaker can be of Asian American or Asian descent, and it can be any story.
I think it's actually they're really specific about Asian American stories,
Interesting.
which is cool. Which is very
Dude.
cool.
Dude, I'm going to do this.
I was
2019.
like facial
I'm writing
recognition.
I'm writing 2019 goals right now.
Man, you guys should have
Yeah.
submitted this year.
I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Maybe if you had mapped out your drive earlier.
Sorry.
We could have had this
known before the
conversation in
deadline.
November. So where can people find the info for this?
For
For Cowboys and Indians.
Cowboy and Indian is on Vimeo.
Okay.
Um,
Is it open to everybody or is
it's
it like,
open. It's
Oh,
not a private
snap.
link. Not a
Snap.
private.
I don't
link.
need a password. That's great.
Yeah. So I got I have a production actually a production company was interested in making it into a show, so I'm developing it into a series.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many how long are the episodes?
It would be like a 10 episode, like half-hour dramedy.
Fun.
That's so cool.
Dramedies are my thing right
Yeah.
now.
Is the film
Um,
itself kind of a thriller?
Yeah, it's a thriller.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's inspired by early Tarantino and like Train Spottings and
That's tight.
Wow.
just like those kind
Wow.
of fun.
So the filming is like going to be Tarantino-esque, sort of. what can we expect?
How many N-words are you using in this?
no N-words.
No
All
N-words.
right. Okay. I feel
But
better.
the series will not be
Okay.
Tarantino inspired.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
It takes it away from like sort of the
Different
violence
world.
of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
like awkward black girl.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
you.
it's
Different
a
world.
whole different world.
So you're like people are gonna know you soon enough as like a show creator and a showrunner.
Oh, yeah.
And a star.
oh yeah,
That's amazing.
That's where I get excited. I have like 10 different projects right now in various stages of development, and one's a Bengali family sitcom, and all of my stuff is very specific Bengali
Yeah.
because I think I would love to see 4 different Indian sitcoms on TV, and one's Punjabi, one's Gujarati, one's Pakistani, one's South Indian,
and one's mixed.
and one's mixed.
Yeah.
all of that. So I think it's important for all of us to tell our own stories. And so my stuff is super Bengali focused. And, some of it is having to deal with the like what the Bengali experience is. Some of it's not. Like I have a show about 2 stoner girls that work at a soda shop. a magical soda shop.
What?
So
should Fizza, you should submit a tape. It sounds right up your alley. Sarcastic.
can I play both of them?
It's magical.
That would be amazing.
She is the same person. We watched the Goatface sketch hour that came out on
Oh,
Comedy
cool. I
Central.
haven't watched it yet.
It's amazing,
You gotta
but
watch it.
I wanted to, like, you seem to have the same idea. What impressed me so much about that and about, you know, the different guys, different projects like Hassan's, you know, show on Netflix is that they don't like compromise for white people. Like they make the references that they want to make and they make the statements they want to make. And it's like for us, you know, it's like,
and I will
don't
say
throw
that
out.
I have that mentality because I'm friends with Issa Rae, and she's like one of my biggest inspirations, and she has never compromised on any of her
amazing.
shows.
Yeah, I like that there's
So-
no like translation.
Yes.
You know?
I don't.
So perfect.
I don't
They
translate in
dumb
any
it
of
down.
my stuff either. So I think that's where I get it from.
That's right. You guys use your context clues. We've done enough of that.
Yeah, we've had to Google enough stuff.
I've done so much of that reading comprehension bullshit.
Do you know how many times I have to go onto Urban Dictionary every day just to figure out what the kids are saying?
I've had to Google so many idioms. Just because white people at work be using this stuff, and I'm like, what? I don't understand.
Like what? Say
like
one.
herding cats, and like
Wait, I don't know what that means.
Herding cats means it's like hard to
hard to
get them
wrangle.
together.
yeah.
because
Oh,
Yeah.
herding cats.
Herding,
I
yeah.
thought you said hurting.
Sorry, herding.
I was like, what? That sounds
They
violent.
sound like psychopaths.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, like
That's
I
evocative.
English is still kind of my first language, like, but still, like, just culturally, there's a lot of things I didn't grow up listening to. You
Right.
know?
I used to get docked points in like English class because they would have like Bible references and I didn't understand them. And my teachers were just like, you should know it by now. Like, and I was just like, what? Like, I didn't know what the metaphor was or where
Wait,
this
where
came
did
from.
you grow up?
Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. And so I just had to take the heat on it.
Oh,
but-
so did you get like heat for not knowing like the Cain and Abel story and all that stuff?
Oh, I knew that one because Mormons believe the mark of Cain is dark skin. So I was aware of that one.
Wow.
But other ones that I just didn't know the references for.
But Sujata learned that in Catholic school.
I did. I learned everything about, Adam and Eve, and all my friends were doing confirmation and getting to eat the wafer, and and I would just be
Oh, they were
sitting
getting
there.
drunk on that wine too, right?
They weren't drinking the wine.
Oh no.
Yeah, they didn't,
Okay.
because we had to go to church Friday mornings. It was part
Oh.
of school.
Okay.
That would make Friday a lot more fun.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. I'm not in class.
wine.
This is great. Advent was my favorite time of year. It's Advent right now.
Oh, what is Advent?
Yeah, what is that?
It's the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas.
Oh, that's the Advent Day calendars,
and
right?
and one of my
okay.
favorite Christmas songs is an Advent song, and it goes like this.
Let's hear it.
Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. And I don't remember the rest of it, but
A Naked Hipster Project original.
Oh, that was a cover. That was a cover.
I really loved Advent because you would go out, every week before Christmas, and you would light the candle, and then
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end,
that's a thing.
the fourth candle was lit, and it was exciting.
Oh, look at that. We learned something today.
Yeah, it's definitely a Catholic thing.
Cool. We're also recording this on the first day of Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah.
I went to Jewish camp once.
What?
That's amazing.
How did we do 30 episodes
Genesis.
of this podcast and we don't know that
Why are
about
we
you?
just
I am
finding this
an
out?
open book with hidden chapters. I'll just drop the gems for the
Wait,
rest of my
so
life.
you went to Jewish camp?
I went to Camp Genesis. I had challah bread.
That sounds
I love the
amazing.
name of that camp.
And it was cool. Like, I'd never seen challah bread before.
Yeah.
Challah bread.
Yeah.
That was really the highlight.
The
of
challah
it
bread?
for
That's
me.
great.
It was.
I dated a
Carbs.
Jewish
I
man.
love challah bread,
for
like
4
to this
years.
day.
Wow.
Does that count as Jewish camp?
What?
Dating a Jewish man for 4 years?
Sure.
I mean,
I also got the bread is mainly the
then
thing.
I've been to camp twice.
Hey.
Why did you go to Jewish camp?
I mean, my
How?
parents dropped me. I was a kid,
So
so
they didn't know it was Jewish camp?
they probably didn't care.
Was it a
Wow.
sleepaway or a day camp?
It was a day camp.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those sleepaway. That would have been hardcore.
Was there a large Jewish population in Fort Myers?
I mean, it's a retirement community in some parts, so there were, I mean, not that big.
I didn't
Not
meet
that-
any
not-
Jewish people until I
not
moved
that
to
much.
Los Angeles.
I had like maybe like a handful of Jewish friends.
Pittsburgh. Well, we're
So big on the Indians.
Pittsburgh has a ton of Jews.
Greensburg.
Orthodox
Greensburg was Irish Catholic to the max. All of my friends were Irish Catholic or Italian.
Wow.
And then when I went to Case, I didn't know any Jewish people. I didn't meet any Jewish people. And then Australia, definitely not. And then I moved to LA and I was like, oh,
Weird.
Oh, this is where they all are.
yeah.
There's a large Jewish community in Southeast Florida, so like Boca, Palm Beach as well. But
I'm also like Greensburg is an hour east of Pittsburgh, the city.
Yeah.
So I was
okay.
never going into Pittsburgh to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I grew up around a lot of diversity.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't like I grew up in Edison, New Jersey, which is also called Browntown, USA. And I had like
I've been to Edison many times.
Yeah.
My cousin lived in Princeton, New Jersey.
yeah, every brown person in America has a family member that lives in Edison, New Jersey.
so when you go there, is it really homogenous? Like you walk in and everyone, like in the mall, and everyone's brown.
Not everyone, but like I don't know, now probably like half the people. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like. There's a section of Edison that like it's called Oak Tree Road. It's Oak Tree Road, and it just smells like masala and curry.
Ooh,
Because-
I love it.
Yeah, because I mean that's where all the Indian restaurants are and all the Indian
Yeah.
food and whatever. But like, there's also like 2 high schools, and in both yearbooks, there's like at least 15 pages of Patels. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Patels, Shahs, and yeah, we just grew up around all of that. And I
Amazing.
loved it. And so like everybody knows what biryani rice and samosas are over there. And
Oh, I'm
I went to
getting
bar
hungry
mitzvahs,
right now.
bat mitzvahs. I went to quinceañeras. Yeah, it was.
That's cool.
It was lit as fuck over there.
I love that. I always
Yeah.
craved that,
Yeah.
like growing up, because there wasn't much diversity, and I didn't realize like just how important it was till I moved to Miami. And Miami's very different from the
Right.
rest of Florida, extremely diverse. And I was like, oh, this is so dope.
We had like weird like Mormon diversity. So they were like no.
We are not the same Mormon.
Because there were a lot of refugees who had been
Oh.
converted.
Wow.
So it's like the largest like population of Tongans outside of Tonga. And there were like Somalian refugees and stuff at my high school. And there were
That
like
is super interesting.
and there was like an Indian population, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like and there was like a large Vietnamese population and stuff. So it was a weird it was a weird mixing pot. But it was
Yeah.
also a lot of white people. But yeah.
We're not the same white person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All
Have you
right.
seen the flyer?
I told her about
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's very good.
Thank you.
We just want your praise. That's all. No one else's opinion matters. So, Sujata, we usually should we ask one of our closing questions?
Yeah. We want to know who is your favorite like Desi or South Asian celebrity?
Wow.
Besides yourself.
My favorite Desi South Asian celebrity. There's a lot. I mean, I
Name
love
a few. Let's shout them out. This is
shout out
I don't think we
everybody.
need- there can be more than one.
I think I was really excited about Kumail Nanjiani.
Yay.
And that was a very cool story that he told, and just excited that I feel like we as a collective we
Mhm.
got like Oscar nominations and stuff. I thought
Yeah.
that was like really cool and
That was
fun.
awesome.
So
Kumail Nanjiani.
I also love Silicon Valley.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fun show.
So that's one. I mean, Aziz, I think he's hysterical, and so
Zara.
Zara.
She has a lot of opinions.
opinions about Aziz.
Yep.
I think Mindy Kaling opened a lot of doors for all of us, and
Yeah.
and she didn't play a stereotype. So that's really cool of her. I think there's like a lot of people that have paved the way, and I think it's just exciting because there's just more and more to come. And I have a lot of contemporary like Nishi Manshi is doing great, and there's just like so many people that I personally know that I'm excited for. I think Poonam Patel is like
oh yeah.
really funny. I think Aparna's great, and I saw her do stand up for the first time at Asian AF. And
Aparna's doing our show
doing
this
our
coming
show on
Sunday.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I think Dhruv Uday Singh, who does Asian AF, is awesome, and there's just so many. I mean, like, who do you want me to name? Like everybody.
There's a lot of people.
Like Cal Penn, Harold and Kumar. That was like huge for us, and
that was huge for us.
And
I forget.
And it's so cool because he gets to play just like normal people all the time, which is great.
I think the most inspiring thing for me was that he jizzed in his own face in that movie, and then a year later he was working for Barack Obama in the White House. So
cool.
Anything is possible, you guys.
Anything's possible. So it's just like there's a lot of us, and there's more and more like coming up, and it's exciting because we're all supporting each other.
The floodgates are open, white people.
Yeah,
guys, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Got it.
Yeah,
cool. Okay, so where can we find you, watch you,
support you and your upcoming project?
I'm on all the social medias. So
even on Facebook?
Back on Facebook.
I have a fan page on Facebook.
Okay.
You manage it?
Yeah, I do. I manage it. I respond. I try to respond to people. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Sujata Day. And then
you want to spell that?
Yeah, spell that for our white fans.
SUJATADAY. And I have a Vimeo page and a YouTube page, but not much on the YouTube. But I'll put like my shorts and stuff on my Vimeo page, and that's pretty much it.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You've been awesome. This is great.
Yay!
I'm inspired.
I am also inspired.
Good. Next year, HBO Visionaries
Doing it.
yeah.
competition.
I'm working on
We're
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
You can find the facial recognition stuff at Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. And we have our Patreon with the videos at patreon.com/facial recognition comedy. This Sunday is going to be our show with Aparna and a very, very, very special guest host.
Yes, Sunday, December 9th at 9
Is
p.m.
it surprise guest host?
Yeah, and you do not want to miss it. Like, it's going to be amazing.
All of you, 110%.
You're gonna have to tell me after we're done with it.
You're going to be so upset if you miss this, you guys.
You know who this very special guest host is because
you know who it's going to be.
he/she is very, very special. Whoever they are, they're like very special. And you all know who this person is.
And don't be mad if you miss it because it's amazing.
So December 9th, 9 p.m., West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica, California.
Yeah. And then we also are going to come up to Sketchfest.
San Francisco Sketchfest.
Yeah, that's
January 19th.
It's a Saturday.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Cafe de Nord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find us.
I'm Paula Viganalin. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, my website.
And I'm Zara Ali. You can find me on all socials as Really Zara. Zara is spelled ZAHRA.
And I'm Fizadasani. I'm at Fizadasani on all the socials. FIZAADOSANI.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sujata.
Thank you, guys.
Can you sing something?
Yeah.
What
give
do
us
you
an
want?
outro.
Give us
Yeah.
Okay.
An outro.
Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go. Let it go.